The Return to Workplace solution is divided in different applications. Facility Safety Management is the administration application. Employee application is where all the employees create the daily pass. Workplace Care Management is the application that tracks all the cases for the employees. Employee Portal is the access for service providers and cleaning crew. And finally, the Location Management dashboards. Let's begin with the employee application. We have several options on the screen. Get the daily pass, look at the status for a facility, also insert or add the sentiment for how I feel coming back to the office. Also, we can see the approved vaccination tracking, the ones that we have submitted previously. This is actually the vaccination tracking. We can see all the information. We can come back to this one later on after we created a daily pass. Now we can start with daily pass. We can select the facility or we can use one of the recent cards that it's been already saved for us. In this situation, we're going to select the facility, Austin, and we can see that it's on phase 1 and we can create a booking for this facility. So we will book a space. Now we have the capability to select the floor and the area and give us the occupancy depending on the phase for that facility. Click next. From this point, we can select the entry window. This is actually to make sure that we don't have any bottlenecks on the entry, elevators or lobbies or any place like that. We will click next. We get into the daily health check. This is an option where we can change the text on the screen at any way that we decided, and we can accept that. Finally, we get into the daily attestation. This is where we say or mention that we don't have any of the following symptoms. All of this also is configured through the application and the facility management application. And then finally, we will get into our QR code and get our daily pass for that day. We can review the pass, click in the center icon, and we will be able to see that. We can even cancel the pass. Also, we can register a guest. This is actually an option that we have here. After the registration for a guest, we can create an attestation for that person on behalf of that person and then share that information. Now we're going to get into the vaccination tracking, and this is where we select the vaccination. We add a new option or new submission and select the date, select the vaccine type. We click next. This is where we can upload a text file or an image that actually represents the vaccination card and have it as an informational as part of the details for validation. After this, all that is being approved automatically by the system. Now we have that information available. If we can click in or view the approved submission, we will be able to see that. Now we're going to be looking into the facility management application. This is where we configure all the facilities and all the related data that is needed, not only for facilities, but also all the other application settings. Let's select a facility. This is going to be the facility management dashboard for that specific facility, getting all the details related to that facility on a graphical presentation. From this point, we can go to the details. And on the details, we enter all the information related to the facility number, the facility name, their location, the address. This is mainly specifically for the window entry, if it is related to 1 hour intervals or 30-minute intervals. We save the information. Also, we can define the facility type. There's going to be different facility types and facility groups. And this is for grouping facilities on the same area or same location. One of the key components that we have is the business process flow or the wizard on the top. One of the main things that we have to make sure is that the reopening phase field, it's exactly the same as the facility phase on the top. The checklist is going to be the readiness tasks that have to be completed for that phase. And then the transition is when we're ready to move from one phase to another. We need to create a transition for validation. This is allowing another people to do the validation for us and then approve or decline that. And we're going to be able to move and add all the new checklists or readiness factors for the new phase. Occupancy, this is where we define the floors and then the areas. We can be able to create as many floors or many areas depending on the facility. And we click on the add a new floor, and this is where the enter all the information. Same thing with the add a new area. So we can enter all the information and then select the floor that the area is going to be located in. In this case, we're not going to add it. We're going back. And again, this is the facility and facility group information. The facility groups are actually related to all the items that are going to be related to a single area. In this case, we have it by continent. And then also we have it by, different areas on those continents. As you can see, we sorted by the continent or by the grouping, and we have different areas that we are already selected. Facility types is actually the type of facility or type of building, data center or parking space. The phase transitions, this is where we have all the information about all the facilities, where they are at that point. So we can look into the employee attestation. This is all the attestations that all the employees have done for their daily passes. This is specifically for if they say, yes, I don't have any of the symptoms, or no, I have the symptoms, and something have to happen at that point. Employee sentiment, this is where we have all the information from all the employees, how they feel coming back to the office. Employee bookings, this is the second part. When we create a daily pass, we create two records. One is the employee booking, where actually defines where the employee is coming, what facility, what floor, what area, and what day. And then the second one is the attestation. So you will see that the employee booking and the employee attestation actually represent one action for the daily pass. Another area is employee visits. This is actually an empty entity or an empty table. And this one is actually made for integration with other systems. It will have all the information about the employee booking and related to the attestation, but also is going to have a little bit more information for entry or starting time or ending time for that visit. And this is actually vaccination tracking. This is where we have all the information about all the employees that had submitted their vaccination tracking or the information on the vaccination. And now we're going to move into the solution settings. So we will begin with the solution settings, but you will see that there are other related entities or other options that we can change or edit as part of the administration on the application. We're going to select the default solution setting. This one applies for all the facilities that don't have a facility group, that you can actually name the settings and then also update the company name. This section only specifies all the features that you can turn on and off for the employee application. Like for example, employee sentiment, negative attestation, use QR codes, guest registration, allow shared guest registration, use 24 hours format or 12-hour format, enable vaccination attestation, enable manual verification, attestation required, yes or no, and then any other information for terms and conditions. Also, the configuration for the health check and the daily attestation verbiage can be modified in here. Also, we have the same capabilities to add the same terms and conditions for guests in the portal or in the application. As you can see, we have different facility configurations. Depending on the facility group, this will allow for different configuration depending on those areas, specifically for the applications. Next, we work into the workplace care management application. This is where we create all the cases manually or automatically for any person that feel that they had exposed to anything or they don't feel well, so we can keep track and investigate, monitor, and then finally resolve all that information from those people in communications. Again, we have the wizard on the top, the business process flow. And this one is going to give us the specific fields that we need to follow up on the sections on the screen. But finally, we have one very important one, which is the facility access. This field allows to enable or disable access for the employee for a specific time. So we can put the time and date that they're coming in, and then also employee instructions. This is where we type in the instructions what they need to do before they come in back into the facility, or they can be enabled to come back to the facility. They will be able to see this into the application or the employee application or the portal as part of the in application notifications. After this, we save the record. Now we can be able to see all the information that is available on this record, but also we can create the exposures. These are actually the attestations that has been done previously for this same employee, making sure that they don't feel that they have exposures on those dates. Automatically, the system will get behind the scenes on the automation, the case facilities, and even the contacts that are actually related to that one, and they will be escorted depending on their access or their closeness. Now in the portal application, we can be able to log in in different ways. We can use the registration or redeem a code. That's actually something that we can do from the perspective of the cleaning crew or the maintenance crew. But in this case, I created a profile. So there's several options. One of the is resources, and resources is something that we can create through the settings for the application. I can also update my profile, and this is the information that I can update on the profile. And we can go back home and we can create a pass. The difference between the employee application and the portal is that the employee has a lot more features than the portal. So we can select the person that we need to sign in, and then the facility. And then when we select the facility, we're able to go strictly to the daily health check, and then also to the daily attestation. So this is the daily health check, and now the daily attestation. This is where we can say that we don't have any of the symptoms. And then compared to the employee application have a specific location where we're going to be sitting on the portal, because it's for cleaning crew and maintenance crew. They're not going to be sitting in one place. They're expected to be working on the facility, at any place. So we have the create a pass. Now we can be able to see the pass, and we can share or cancel the pass from this perspective. Again, also, we have the capability to register a guest or a dependent, and this is available through this option. We can add all the information, and then after that, we can attest on behalf of that person and then share the pass with that person. So this is the portal application. Finally, we have the dashboards. This is the readiness dashboard or the location dashboard, mainly used by the leadership. And this is actually providing all the detailed information about where the facilities are and how they are running, and compared to general information on the United States by state and even by county. So there's going to be, the information related to the facilities. We can drill down on where they are in the phases and how they're behaving, and how ready we are in that perspective with the facilities. And we can drill down specifically to a specific state or facility, or even by the county. We can also see the employee activity related to those facilities. And right now we're just drilling down on the facility. Now going back into the readiness checklist, how they are behaving, occupancy on all of those facilities. All of this information we can drill down. And finally, employee activity. This is where, how many employees are using the application, the sentiment, how many passes are being generated, and all the information where we can drill down in that one. We can look at worldwide, or we can go directly to the United States and then look into all the information related to COVID-19 for the states and even by county. The next one is the cases, the workplace care management. These are all the cases that have been created for the employees that don't feel well, and then we can see all the information. We can drill down on every single case. We can go through the facilities also, and how many cases are being created, and what is the risk, and also what is going to be related to the cluster. And the cluster is cases related to each other and compared to exposures. In this case, for this facility, we have 3 cases that are not related to each other, are completely isolated. So we will be able to see more information as long as the cases are being related to each other, and then how they are behaving.